the first exit strategy. Are you ready? Are you ready? The first exit strategy is dun 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 dun. I don't know. We don't have any great music for build up, but we got 16, so we're gonna move through them pretty quick, 2-3 minutes apiece. And so let's begin with the first one right now. The first exit strategy is obvious. Retailing. Retailing. You know, retailing can mean a couple things, okay? Retailing can mean, when you say retailing, you can mean fix and flipping. You might say it that way. You might say, I'm gonna fix and resale, or maybe you say, I'm gonna rehab, or I'm gonna something like that. That is retailing. Retailing. All right. So after acquiring the property, especially if it needs work, right? You want to renovate it yourself and then put it back on the market and sell it at full retail value. That's retailing. That's why they call it retailing, because you're going to ultimately, your exit strategy is to sell it to a retail buyer on the retail MLS market, and they're probably likely to be moving into it to live there themselves. All right. The investor may then sell the property on the open market at a higher price. It says here in the blue, aiming to make a profit from the appreciation and improvements made. Have you ever retailed a house? If you've retailed a house, let me know. Put it in the chat, because I'd like to hear from you if you've retailed a house. This is a tough exit strategy, in my opinion. I've tried retailing houses. It is not for Justin. I can tell you that much. I do not like the responsibility and the weight of it all. It's really, really difficult. It's a challenge, okay? And I mean, you got to be a detail person, and you got to be a manager, and you've got to be a security person, and you've got to be, you got to have all kinds of hats. Tough job being a retailer. It's not maybe so bad if you're really gifted in the contracting arts. In other words, if you're good at, doing the fixing yourself. Okay, so that's retailing. That's the first one. All right. So the second one, let's move on. The second exit strategy. Go ahead and put in the chat here if you've retailed before. All right, if you've retailed before. And number 2 is the buy and hold. Okay, now these seem obvious, but now because we got 16 of these, remember. So we're gonna get into some things you probably haven't heard. Stick around. Buy and hold, long-term straight rental. All right, so the investor purchases the property with the intention. You're the investor. You purchase the property with the intention of holding it for a short-term or long-term investment. Meaning short-term or long-term investment, meaning you may keep it in your portfolio for a year or 5 years or 15 years or 30 years, or maybe it's a even long-term play, more than that even. I don't know. It's up to you. Okay, so the investor purchases the property with the intention of hanging on to it for a specific amount of time. This strategy focuses on generating rental income, passive, semi-passive, I'll say, because I'm not a big landlord guy either. Whew. I'll tell you what, I'm not a big fan of this exit strategy. Yeah. You guys are probably like, oh my gosh, you know what? He's two exit strategies deep, and he's already telling us he don't like any of these. I'm just saying they're awesome. Retailing, number 1, is awesome. I'm just not a retailer, man. I'm not a contractor guy. I'm not a manager of contractors. Okay. All right. Buy and hold. Hey, thank you, Iron Man. Yeah. Anybody done any buy and hold, short-term or long-term? Anybody? Put it in the chat. All right. Where you choose to hold the property indefinitely, maybe for a period of time, benefiting from the consistent cash flow and the potential appreciation you're getting there. Maybe you're paying down a note on it too. Okay. Yep. So that's buy and hold. All right. Buy and hold. What will be the third one? Anybody done a buy and hold? Go ahead and put it in the chat there, because we'd like to see. We do have a couple people who have done a buy and hold. Number 3, since we're talking about buying and holding, let's go ahead and start number 3. Number 3 is the 1031 exchange retirement investing exit strategy. All right, this is probably a lot like number 2, except folks are using their Roth IRA, self-directed, right? 1031 exchanges, retirement investing, also known as tax-deferred exchanges. Or this strategy allows investors to sell a property and reinvest the proceeds into a like-kind property without incurring immediate capital gains. Has anybody out there used a Roth IRA or done a 1031 exchange? Has anybody out there participated in one of these? How many out there want to do this? Ideally, all of us should be doing this. Cool. Ideally, we all should be doing this. If you know how to do real estate, you should be doing it in a self-directed Roth IRA. Yes or no? Agree or disagree? Put it in the chat. Okay, Iron Man Lou said he's done a 1031 exchange. There's some time frames here involved in all this. There's some rules that come into play here. We're not going to go into all the details, but this is an exit strategy that some investors use exclusively. And this is a way that they're building their retirement account. Okay, the retirement money is using this exit strategy. Number 3, a 1031 exchange retirement flip in that retirement account. Okay. All right. So that's number 3, a 1031 exchange. Yes. Yeah, we get some good positive chat about the 1031 exchange. All right, good. I'm glad you guys are here. All right, we're getting that now. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4. Number 4 is wholesaling or assigning. Wow. Yeah. See, this one was number 4. I know you probably would have guessed it to be number 1. And it may be number 1 most popular, but I don't know. That retailing is probably really literally the number 1. All right. So number 4, though, on our list tonight is wholesaling or assigning. Wholesaling or assigning. This is, everybody knows you're a wholesaler, right? Oh yeah. Yeah. Are you the owner? Oh no, I just have the property under contract. I'm gonna assign my contract over to an end buyer. Okay. Wholesaling or assigning, the investor acts as a middleman of sorts. Right? You're actually not really a middleman. So don't tell everybody you're a middleman, because you're not. All right. What you are is you're an investor representing your own interests and your own interests, especially in this contract. That's a wholesaler and assigner. Okay. You're going to assign your rights and privileges and responsibilities. You're going to assign it all over. Okay. That's wholesaling. It doesn't require an investor to own or renovate the property, and it usually doesn't require any money, which is why everyone gets involved in real estate using this particular exit strategy. I have done over 600 of these. So that is something obviously I like, right? Okay, I like doing this. So I recommend that you do a lot of wholesaling and assigning. Absolutely. Hey, thank you, Sheik. Thank you, Big Sheik. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to number 5. Number 5, wholesaling. Okay, wholesaling. A real estate investment strategy that combines the elements of wholesaling and fix and flip or retailing. That was number 1. It involves acquiring distressed properties at a discount, making minimal repairs, and then selling the property quick for a profit. Okay, Has anybody in here heard of wholesaling? Has anybody done one? Because I've not done one. I'll be real with you. I've never done a wholesale. All right. I've never done a wholesale. I've done the retailing. I've done the wholesaling so far of the things we've mentioned. I've done the long-term buy and hold. I have not done a wholesale, but I can tell you from the folks that I do know that have done a wholesale that they like it and they claim to make gobs more money. I'll give you an example. An investor identifies a hoarder house and he gets a discounted price on it because it is a hoarder house. Has anybody ever been in a hoarder house? It is a really, really hoarder house in my mind. I'm picturing this hoarder house like there's only a path and it's a small, skinny one. Okay. What if you got it under contract and instead of just immediately flipping that to an end buyer that's going to retail it, okay, see, you're picking up the lingo now. You're becoming an investor. That's awesome. So what if instead of just quick flipping, assigning it to a retailer or a fix and flipper, what if you went in there and you had a dumpster delivered or 3 or 4 or 5 dumpsters and you had some guys help you from Craigslist and you just emptied out the house of all the garbage and the trash and the filth and all the appliances with the bugs in them and everything. And then what you did is you put it on the market and you sold it to a buyer. Could you get a lot more money out of it? Oh, well, yeah. So this is a marriage of the retail and the wholesale, thus the wholesale. I don't like that. I don't like that word, the wholesale. It's hard to say. All right. Well, let's get into number 6 here. It looks like we've got some folks here in the chat that said that they have heard of hotel but not done one. Kenneth, William, Big Sheik. Yes, I'm all in the same boat, guys. To me, if you're going to do it, you might as well go all the way. Why halfway do the rehab? Why clean it up? I don't know. But again, other guys I know claim to be making just gobs and gobs of good money doing this wholesaling. Okay. All right. Number 6, short-term rental or vacation rentals. Hey, vacation rentals. What do we have for them, Johnny? We've got a weekend in Orange Beach, Alabama at a condo that is a short-term rental, courtesy of Airbnb or VRBO. All right. How many of you out there watching are interested in this particular exit strategy? You want to acquire properties to turn them into a short-term rental or a vacation rental with platforms like Airbnb or VRBO. You rent it out, you rent out the property, and then you charge like a whole lot more money than you would any other regular rental. All right. So you guys know that you go to your Airbnb app and it's like $400 a night, and then there's another $200 cleaning fee or whatever. Crazy great rents in some of these. And you know what I've discovered is they don't all have to be in a nice coastal region or in a metropolitan downtown poppin' socialite area. They don't have to be there. They can be really literally in some really low income areas. I've learned that. That is true. I don't have that. I don't own that, but I've heard that. All right. So, but then there are some restrictions coming to in a lot of cities. My city's one of them, Kansas City, about the short-term rental stuff. And it's also in other cities where they're kind of cracking down on it, where they don't want so many short-term rentals anymore. All right. So that's number 6, short-term rentals. Number 7, are you ready? We're blazing through this. Everybody's ready for number 7. I did see in the chat here we have quite a few people who are interested in doing the vacation. Let me ask your advice. Put it in the chat. How do you plan to prepare yourself for the property management aspect of running a short-term vacation rental business? Because I'm looking for some answers too. All right. All right. Okay. That's facts. All right. Here. Let's get to the next one. The next number 7 exit strategy: development and new construction. Investors can choose to develop vacant land or purchase properties for redevelopment. This is what I would call, in some cases, it would be development where you're buying a vacant piece of land, perhaps putting a subdivision on it. I've also seen people buy retail MLS single family style houses, tear it down, and then rebuild a nice house on it. So that would be called a tear down rebuild. Okay. Tear down rebuild. Sorry, I forget about my stopwatch. I get to thinking about real estate. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lord. All right. Development and new construction. Investors choose to develop vacant land or purchase property for redevelopment, tear down, rebuild. Now, this strategy involves constructing new buildings or renovating existing structures to create value and generate profits. I have not done this either. Okay, is anybody now? I know a couple cats that have, and they have cleaned up. All right, I know a couple guys that have done this, and they have cleaned up. This is not one of my expertises. All right, I do have a lot of people that come to me and they say, Justin, will you coach us? Our ultimate goal is to have low income housing for folks that have needs. Okay, let's talk about that, because that could be number 7, but I'm going to propose that's not what number 7 is. I'm going to mention that later. How many of you here want to do that? I bet there's at least a couple, 2 or 3 people watching right now. We've got at least 18 people watching right now. Thank you for watching, by the way. And your goal is to ultimately build some kind of in the spirit of charity, something for homeless people, disabled people, people of little means, so on and so forth. Okay, number 7 is not that. All right, that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is developing raw land into a neighborhood, or finding a house that's in a gentrifying neighborhood, tearing it down and rebuilding a nice modern home that you can get big money for. All right, that's redevelopment, development, new construction. Okay, so that's that particular number 7. Again, let's take a break just for 20 seconds. And I want to remind you that over at shutupmoney.com, you can get the free course. All right. I just got a notification. Somebody scanned the QR code there. And I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering QR code. Like what does that even mean? I don't know. Like, I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me what QR means. God, it probably something horrible. All right, but anyway, somebody scanned that. Hey, thank you. Oh, somebody else just scanned it too. Thank you for that. So you can grab the free course in these places here, especially if you're into what we're talking about tonight. It would be a good idea. You're going to get a lot of great material. All right, and I mean material meaning cheat sheets, contracts, worksheets, disclosure statements for each strategy type. All right, but anyway, let's get back to we're going to go on from number 7 to number 8, and let's do that right now. Number 8 exit strategy: the master leasehold. See, this is one that I know that you weren't expecting, and I got you. I got it. All right. I know you weren't expecting this. The master leasehold. Now, this is one of my advanced maneuvers. I'm going to be talking about. Somebody else just scanned the QR code. Thank you. Here's the thing. In that workshop coming up on the 15th of July, I'm going to talk about my advanced maneuvers. This is one of them. So this exit strategy is one of my favorite advanced maneuvers. Instead of purchasing a property, Just get a long-term rental agreement in place. Okay, the guy didn't want to sell it. Cool. What if you did this in commercial real estate? What if you expanded out of this single family residence and what if you got a lease on a commercial building that would be great for a business? Maybe your business is already in it and you got a 30-year lease. Yeah, it happens. 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. What if you got on a house? What if you got a 5-year lease agreement? Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just telling you, when you run into homeowners that don't want to sell, but they're okay with leasing, sometimes you can just sandwich lease something. You don't have to sandwich lease option it. You can just sandwich lease it. Okay. Sublease is what we would call it. So a master lease where you sublease it to someone else. So you would pay $1,500 a month to the homeowner in your lease, but you're subleasing it to someone for $2,350. So you're making $850 a month. Okay, that kind of thing. All right, so that's number 8, the master leasehold. Has anybody ever thought about doing this? Okay, anybody? Hey, good advice, Ben, and good to see Sheik here in the comments. Iron Man Lou, thank you. Anybody ever tried to do number 8 here, a master leasehold? Anybody ever do that? Okay, that's one of my favorites. That's one of my advanced maneuvers. I'm going to talk about that in this workshop coming up. This is the workshop I was talking about. You can find that. There's a link in the free course. All right. If you want to attend this workshop, I've got some advanced maneuvers. The master leasehold is one of them that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to provide you with paperwork and all that good stuff too. Okay. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Oh, I'm going to take care of you. All right. Let's get on to the next one. Number 9. We got a long road ahead of us. We're making good progress though. Okay. Number 9 is seller financing. That's right. What if you picked up a property with seller financing? Can you turn right around and use seller financing to sell it to someone else? Absolutely you can. All right, so let's take a look here at our cheat sheet that you'll get in the free course, by the way. And it looks a little bit like this. All right, so if you bought something with an all cash offer, could you sell it with, yeah, sure, with owner finance or seller finance? Sure, you could be the bank for somebody. You could be the seller that's financing it to somebody else. Could you take a property over subject to, and could you be making the payment for the homeowner? And could you turn around and sell it on a wraparound? Oh, yeah, you could. Could you sell it on a seller carryback or installment? Maybe not seller carryback, but installment for deed. Yeah, you could. Yeah. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a wonderful idea. If you pick up a property with a subject to, why not sell it installment for deed or use a lease purchase? You see how when you pick up a property over here on the left side of the screen, on the left side of the chart, you use something on the right side over here to sell it off. So I don't know, just you lose more power as you move to the right as the owner of the property. So that's why you can look at the chart that way. Hey, I'm looking to acquire properties, especially if any way I can, but especially on the left-hand side of this chart. And then I'm looking to sell properties on the right-hand side of this chart. All right. Hopefully that's kind of a little bit of a cheat for you. Give you some thoughts, at least maybe about how this works. All right. But you can definitely use seller financing to do an exit strategy, right? So you pick up a property with something creative, and then you turn right around and you use something creative again to create usually monthly cash flow, right? And eventually you're building equity here and money, right? All right. Let's go on to number 10, everybody. Are you ready for number 10? All right, let's do number 10. Here it is. Number 10, seller, what? It didn't pop up. Hold on, there it is. Lease option assignment. Now, you guys know this is like probably my all-time. Yes. All-time favorite, lease option assignment. Why is it my all-time favorite? Well, if you ask the people that are in my coaching club today, they'll tell you, well, my guess is because, for example, today Justin posted 15 hot yes leads in the VIP chat. Like, who wants them? Yes. See what I'm saying is there's just leads falling out of the sky, like a plethora of them. Like every day that you want leads, you can get them. And I'm not breaking the bank to get them. That's why I love this business. Because I can do business without breaking the bank. And I can make good money, because when I get a property that is a rent to own and I'm looking to assign it, a lease option, I put a lease option property up on Facebook Marketplace. In the first 72 hours, I probably have 200 people hit me up about it, because you have something the people want. I'm just saying, if you're tired of swimming upstream, maybe consider this exit strategy. It's one of my faves. I don't even care about purchase prices anymore. I'm not caught up in it. We got advanced maneuvers to fix problems. All right, so has anybody done a lease option assignment before? Go ahead. I know some of my students have. God bless you for that too. Has anybody ever got the bravery to put it in the chat here? Yeah, I've done some lease option assignments. Put it in the chat. Let's see, because I want to see, is this everybody else's one of everybody else's favorites too, or am I just a weirdo? I think I'm probably just a weirdo, everybody. All right, I hope you're having a good time with me tonight. We're going to move forward here. We're going to go on to number 11, and here it is now. Section 8 or government subsidized rentals. How many of you here in the chat want to do this? This is an incredible opportunity. Okay, now you're going to get labeled. People are going to call you slumlord. They're going to call you, this and that, whatever. But here's the thing about Section 8 is it's guaranteed money every month. Okay? This is where investors participate in government subsidized rental programs like Section 8, where the government provides rental assistance to qualified tenants. So the landlord gets a guaranteed amount of money every single month, whether that tenant paid it or not. Okay? Now, how it works around here, at least, is they'll guarantee, let's say the landlord will get guaranteed like $850 a month. And then the tenant will actually have to pay an additional like $350 or something like that to the landlord too. Okay, so the whole rent will be like $1,150, but Section 8 guarantees $850 of that. Okay, so that's Section 8, and that's a strong exit strategy, y'all. Okay, I know a fellow here in town that I'm jealous of a little, because he's got like 150 of these. It's pretty crazy. He's got like 150 of these, and you know what? 150 times whatever the Section 8 rent is, $850, and he's buying these in near the war zone, and he's getting them super, like practically next to nothing free, and then he's doing the minimal amount of rental rehab landlord work to it to bring it up to rental grade, to get it to Section 8 code, where, because they have certain rules about the quality of the home and all that. So he gets it up to there, then he rents these out. He loves these little 2-bedroom bungalows. Yeah, see, you're thinking, 2-bedroom bungalow. Oh, no, I'd never touch that. Oh, no, this guy loves them. Section 8. All right, Section 8. All right, so that's number 11. Let's go ahead and get into number 12. Number 12 is student housing. Student housing, where an investor can target properties near colleges and universities to cater to student housing needs. This strategy can provide consistent demand and potentially higher rental income due to the specific student rental market. I'll give you an example. One time I did this in Lawrence, Kansas, which is, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a little school called Kansas University, but it's out there in Lawrence, Kansas. And I got a little 3-bedroom under contract. And what I got was I put it under contract with a lease purchase. That's right. And my exit strategy was to control that property with a lease purchase, turn around, and make it student housing. Very good idea. I learned some lessons doing that too. Not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of it. But I'm here to tell you there's some good money in it when it's full. All right. When it's not full, I don't know. Maybe there's some things that I needed to know about managing it that I didn't know. And I didn't have a mentor in this particular exit strategy. Does anybody have an interest in doing this particular exit strategy? Let me tell you another really great thing to do is pick up a deal like this if you have a kid in school or about to go to school. Go ahead and get something under contract near the school, lease purchase, and then your kid can stay there, but turn the thing into student housing where each bedroom becomes an income stream. Okay, just a thought. All right, that's number 12. And let's move on then to the next one. The next one is number 13. Affordable housing programs. Okay. Affordable. Sammy said best to rent to grad students. I am certain you're right about that. There was, that student housing thing. There's some tricks to that. I'm not going to say that's for everybody, but it's not really, but it might be for you. Number 13, affordable housing. Okay. Affordable housing. See, remember I told you that the tear down, rebuild, and the land development, all that is not affordable housing. We're going to talk about affordable housing. Well, here it is. Affordable housing programs. Investors can participate in affordable housing programs aimed at providing housing for low-income individuals or families. How many of you out there? No, you don't. Christian wants to know, he's not a citizen. Does he need a social security number to do contracts? Not in the United States. There is nothing in the United States that will prevent you, a non-citizen, either legally here or illegally here or residing in another country. There's nothing here to prevent you from purchasing real estate or controlling real estate by any of the methods we're discussing. Okay. All right, so the United States is completely open for you. Now, affordable housing programs, it involves working with the government agencies, and that can be a challenge. All right. Nonprofit organizations can be a challenge too. All right. So how many folks out there, is there anybody watching right now that really your heart is, okay, your heart right here is to make it in this world in such a way that you can offer affordable housing to homeless, disabled, so on and so forth, folks that are maybe perhaps just on the lowest end of our society. Okay. Is that your heart? Put that in the chat, because I've run into several people like that in my business. Kenneth said he would enjoy doing that. Yeah, I've seen several people who have told me when I ask people, and that's something you should start doing too, by the way, ask people what their goals are. Just you get to know folks. A lot of folks don't have goals. All right. But ask folks what their goals are. And I've asked enough folks that I've heard that a few times. Oh, I want to do some affordable housing for homeless people, or I want to do affordable housing for people who are getting started in life again, restarted, and things like that. All right, let's get over here to number 14. Number 14. Are you enjoying this? Put it in the chat if you're enjoying this. We've only got 16 to go, so we're down to the last 3. Let me know if you're enjoying this in the chat. We're going to do number 14 right now, coming up. Boom. Corporate housing. Corporate housing. Corporate housing. What do I mean by corporate housing? I've done this too, and this is very nice. This is very nice. You guys have heard me, maybe some of you have been following me for a while, talk about a text message marketing campaign that I like to do from time to time, where I say something like, "Hi, I'm an executive looking for an executive style home. I found yours on Zillow." Okay, blah, blah. So this is the strategy that I'm referring to. Okay. Now I'll use lease options. See, so in the context here, I'm probably going to acquire that property with that message using lease options, and then I'm going to offer that as corporate housing, fully furnished. A lot of times, not always. Okay. Corporate clients, business travelers, individuals in need of temporary housing. Now, some of you are like reeling in your mind. I can feel it right now. Like, when would this ever apply? Like, when is this an example? When would I ever know an executive that's going, okay, you're thinking too big. You're thinking Donald Trump. No. Nurses, travel nurses near a hospital, doctors, interns near a hospital. Okay. Other things like that, where corporate housing is necessary. It's not always, corporate like, Google. No, like corporate, like, the places in town that bring in folk. All right. There's probably some in your area. And matter of fact, can somebody give us some examples in your area of corporate housing? Is there something that brings in people in your area where corporate housing actually exists? I gave you an example of the hospital with doctors and interns and nurses and travel nurses and so on and so forth. Also, other things that relate to hospitals. So the hospitals, I think of that because that's where I'm familiar with here in my city. There's because KU Med Center is here, and there's a whole section of town that I know, I'm aware of, where people buy, or they don't buy, but they come in and they're there temporarily. And if the house is furnished, great. I'll be here for a year, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years. I don't know. It's that kind of corporate housing or furnished rentals. Okay. So it can yield a higher rental rate, and you can get a really good quality tenant too. All right. So that's why folks want to do this. All right, everybody. All right. Wake up out there. Wake up. Oh, there he is. Hey. Yeah. Wake up now. All right. I don't want to have to do that to you again. All right. Whoa, snap. There it is. Hey, get that off the screen. Hey, that's me trying to wake up, doing an ice bath, trying to improve my life. All right. They said, hey, they said, you want to improve your life? Getting a big old tub of ice water. I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm going to try some more. I'm going to try it some more. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the last two. Number 15. This is a big deal right here. This is the home equity line of credit, HELOC investing. Now, this may not appear to be an exit strategy at first, because it's not about exiting at all. Rather, it's about leveraging what equity you have in certain properties that you own to purchase more properties. Okay? To purchase more properties. 15 is home equity line of credit, the HELOC. HELOC. Now, what is a HELOC? A HELOC is just exactly that. It's when a homeowner borrowing their equity. All right. So let's say a homeowner has a property worth $100,000. They only owe, just I'm going to use basic numbers for you, so it's real easy. They only owe $70,000 on it, so they get a $15,000 line of credit, a home equity line of credit. Okay. So that means they don't owe 70 anymore. They owe 85 if they borrow the whole money. They've got 10 years to withdraw any of that money they want. It's just like having an extra bank account with extra 15 grand in it. And they can tap it when they want to. If they don't want to, they don't have to. But when 10 years is up, they got to repay it. And they have 20 years to repay it. Okay, so it turns into like a mortgage, for example. All right, so that's a home equity line of credit. Some folks use that home equity line of credit to fix and flip. Some folks use that home equity line of credit to buy properties, buy more properties. So they buy a property. It has a certain amount of equity in it. They refinance that, or they get a home equity line of credit, and then they use that money to go buy another property. And then they get equity in it, and then they pull the equity out of it and go buy another one. And then they just keep, and the chain keeps going on and on. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki talks about, how nobody gets rich in this system without using debt. And this is kind of what he's referring to. Okay, I know this is all real simplistic and basic, and you guys know that I'm a simpleton anyway, so that's just, I'm keeping it real light and everything. But here's the thing. It's a very viable exit strategy if you've got good credit, okay? If you've got good credit, maybe some cash too. All right, so this is a very good exit strategy that's not really an exit at all, but rather a way to acquire more properties by leveraging. All right, that was number 15. Okay. All right, we need to stretch, right? We got to stretch because we got one more exit strategy we're going to talk about tonight, and then we're going to get into closing up here. Okay, so let's jump into number 16. HELOC. Actually, let's talk about HELOC real quick. Has anybody done a HELOC? Anybody done a HELOC? That's a very popular, hugely popular. Okay. I don't know. Looks like Kenneth has. All right, here we go. Number 16, the last one. Assisted living conversion or sober living. Okay. This is really, really popular now, guys. Very, very popular. Assisted living. Thank you, Kenneth. You're a sweet guy. Assisted living. Yes, not like a nursing home, but like assisted living. Okay. You might be living right next door to one right now and not even know it. They're coming to a neighborhood near you. Assisted living. Sober living also. And I mean, they're charging what, $2,000-$3,000, $4,000 or $5,000. What is the rents per person in an assisted living kind of situation or sober living? Somebody put that in the chat. What's the normal rent? What's the normal rent? I know it's a lot. It varies depending on the house and the deal, but it can be a lot of rent. Okay, kind of like the short-term vacation rental, assisted living conversion, or sober living. Now, there's a school of education that you got to get on how to run and manage that stuff too. But this is hugely profitable and hugely popular. Okay, I know of one or two folks that are dabbling in this arena. Okay, it says here, a private home with caregivers to look. Kenneth says you can look after the residents. They charge up to $8,000 a person, and they might have this home built out where it handles 6 people maybe. Okay, so 6 times 8 it's only 48 grand a month. Now you do have expenses and you have responsibilities and you have things that you provide along with the home, like a caregiver 24/7, like food, like utilities, stuff like this. All right, entertainment possibly. All right, security. Anybody interested in doing the assisted living conversion or sober living? Anybody? All right. Nobody. Everybody. Not me. I'm not interested in it. That has been we have successfully gone through 16 transaction engineer exit strategies. I want to congratulate you.